Okay. Coincidentally, I've been at a uh, WrestleCon, WrestleCon before, where I got to sit right across from Mick Foley, where he spent the day signing as his different gimmicks. He spent several hours as Cactus Jack. He spent a few hours as Mick Foley. He spent a few hours as Dude Love. And I got a kick out of watching the people come. And some people came back 3 times to get each one, you know.
Whoa, he changed?
Yeah. He would sign for, let's say, 2 hours as Cactus Jack. And then he would leave. Then he'd switch up, and then he'd come back and sign for a couple hours as Mick Foley. And he left, and he came back and he signed for a couple hours as Dude Love.
Legend.
Yeah, absolutely,
Legend.
absolutely. What a great guy. Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier to answer. Nowadays, now historically that question changes. Many years ago, they didn't even have music when you entered, and now everybody has music. The job guy who's only there for the night to get beat up has generic wrestler number 3 music. But now, when you say a reboot, you're saying somebody who was once on television presented a certain way and was off television for a little while and now is being reintroduced with a different persona. I think, depending on how you roll that character out, is how you answer that question. If it's a situation where it's just one big, because we've seen it done a few ways, where somebody's been gone and you're like, hey, so-and-so comes back this night, they're back this night, they're back this night. You know they're coming back that night. And when they make their entrance, their music plays and there's a big moment and they come out and you get to see him and like, oh my God, they're back. Now, if it's a reboot and this person's back, but we don't know, and all of a sudden their music is different, well, there's a key indicator right there. And they're dressed different. Maybe before they wore bright colors and now they just got on all black. And the way they move is different. They used to be, spirited, and now they're just kind of moving, a little slower. So all of those things work together to present, oh, you've changed. And I think visually, it's a visual medium. The very first thing people do is hear the music. And if they keep the same music, then that's fine. But a lot of the time on a reboot, the music will change. So the attitude of the music usually changes to reflect this character. The next thing is visual. They see. And if this person has on, completely new gear, face paint, something that they've cut their hair, they've dyed their hair, now you're conveying a change, and the costume, ring gear, whatever, visually lends lots of visual cues to what we're seeing now. And then, of course, Vince always loved his baby faces to smile. Well, if this person used to smile all the time and now they're looking kind of stoic, then you can see, okay, there's been a huge attitude change here. What happened to so-and-so, I don't know, Sting just popped into my head. Sting used to wear, neon colors and had the bleach blonde hair and, the paint, and would do his, and then he fucked off and came back as the Crow.
The Crow Sting, yep.
And that Crow Sting was probably even more over than the original Sting,
Yeah.
But immediately, now I wasn't around when that happened, I watched it in retrospect, but immediately you felt some kind of way.
Yeah.
But the swerve was, you would think based on how he looked and how he dressed, he was a heel now. But he wasn't. So it's like, hey, who booked this? So visually you would think one thing, but his style changed, the presentation of his character changed. It was a total reboot, but he was still a good guy. And just a lot cooler looking good guy, I don't know how much his work changed because I wasn't watching at that time. So like I said, I watched in retrospect, but that's the first thing that comes to mind on a reboot. Like Sting was brand new. I think that the easiest indication would be the tandem of different music to give you a different attitude different visual presentation with gear, and then of course ultimately at the end how they work.